Like animals in the zoo, Iga Swiatek supports Coco Gauff over privacy concerns. World number 2 Iga Swiatek on Wednesday backed Coco Gauff's call for more privacy during tournaments, saying players sometimes feel like animals in the zoo where they are observed even when they poop. Third seed Gauff was upset when cameras caught her smashing her racket in the depths of the stadium on Tuesday after she was beaten in the Australian Open quarterfinals. The American was trying to find somewhere private to let out her frustrations, rather than doing so on court in front of fans, including children. "I tried to go somewhere where they wouldn't broadcast it, but obviously they did," said Gauff. "So maybe some conversations can be had because I feel like at this tournament the only private place we have is the locker room." Swiatek, who was also bundled out of the quarterfinals in Melbourne by Elena Rybakina, said backstage cameras could be too intrusive. "The question is, are we tennis players, or are we animals in the zoo where they are observed even when they poop, you know," she said. "Okay, that was exaggerating obviously, but it would be nice to have some privacy. It would be nice also to, I don't know, have your own process and not always be observed. It would be nice to have some space where you can do that without the whole world watching." Swiatek was caught up in her own off-court drama earlier in the week when she was denied access to an area in Melbourne Park because she was not wearing her accreditation. It was recorded on camera and the clip did the rounds on social media. "I don't think it should be like that because we're tennis players," she said. "We're meant to be watched on the court and in the press. That's our job. It's not our job to be a meme when you forget your accreditation." "Oh, it's funny, yeah, for sure. People have something to talk about, but for us I don't think it's necessary." Swiatek's straight sets loss to Rybakina denied her a career Grand Slam of all 4 majors. She has won 4 French Opens, the US Open and Wimbledon, but a title at Melbourne Park remains elusive. The first time Coco Gauff said it, the words landed with a quiet thud rather than a shout. "Sometimes it feels like we're animals in the zoo." Not snarling, not angry, just honest. Cameras lingered. Phones rose like periscopes. The crowd leaned in, curious, hungry, affectionate, relentless. Fame, after all, is a double-edged spotlight. It warms and it burns. Iga Swiatek heard that sentence and nodded, not as a rival, but as a fellow resident of the glass enclosure. When she voiced her support, it wasn't performative solidarity or a press room platitude. It was recognition. 2 of the brightest stars in women's tennis, standing on different rungs of the same ladder, acknowledging the invisible bars that come with success. Tennis is a sport of solitude. Between points, players walk alone to the baseline, toweling off, breathing, thinking. Yet modern stardom erodes even that thin slice of privacy. Social media compresses distance, fans become neighbors, strangers become narrators. Every practice court is a stage, every dinner a paparazzi beat, every off day a rumor waiting to be born. When Gauff spoke about being watched, she wasn't rejecting love, she was asking for air. Swiatek understands air. She has built her career on boundaries as much as forehands. A quiet routine. A protected circle. A refusal to let noise define her inner weather. Supporting Gauff, then, was less about agreement and more about empathy, the kind that grows when you've learned the cost of being visible too young, too fast, too brightly. The zoo metaphor stings because it's accurate. Animals are admired, photographed, adored. They are also confined. Their wildness is curated, their behaviors interpreted, their missteps magnified. In tennis, the enclosure isn't physical, it's digital and cultural. The bars are expectation, access, entitlement. Fans feel ownership over joy they helped amplify. Media feels justified in constant scrutiny because attention pays the bills. Somewhere in the middle stands a 19 or 22-year-old, trying to become an adult in public. What makes Swiatek's support meaningful is that it reframes the conversation. This isn't about ingratitude. It's about sustainability. Greatness requires space, space to fail privately, to learn quietly, to rest without explanation. When privacy disappears, so does the margin for error. Every loss becomes a referendum on character. Every smile, or lack of one, becomes a storyline. Burnout isn't a mystery in that environment, it's a predictable outcome. Gauff's generation is uniquely exposed. They grew up online, watched their own highlights before they learned to drive, fielded questions about legacy before they finished school. The applause is louder than ever, but so is the judgment. Swiatek, just a few years older, bridges eras. She remembers a time with fewer cameras and also navigates the present with intention. Her support says, "You're not imagining this. It's heavy. And you're allowed to say so." There's a quiet bravery in asking for privacy when the world rewards constant availability. It risks misunderstanding. It invites criticism. Yet it also opens a door. If the sport listens, truly listens, perhaps it can recalibrate. Clearer boundaries at tournaments. More protected spaces. Media that tells fuller stories without devouring the people inside them. Fans who cheer fiercely but step back when the match ends. None of this diminishes the magic. If anything, it preserves it. The awe of watching Gauff's athleticism, Swiatek's precision, these moments don't require 24/7 access. They thrive on anticipation. Mystery. Respect. The best performances come from athletes who feel safe enough to be human off the court. In supporting Gauff, Swiatek isn't choosing sides, she's choosing health. She's reminding us that champions aren't exhibits. They are workers, artists, competitors, and young people growing up under a magnifying glass. The zoo metaphor shouldn't be normalized, it should be a warning sign. Tennis will always be public. Stardom will always attract eyes. But between admiration and intrusion lies a line worth defending. When players speak up, and when peers amplify those voices, the sport inches closer to a healthier future. Outside the glass, the crowd still roars. Inside, two athletes lock eyes across generations and agree on something simple and radical. Greatness needs room to breathe.